Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn from chapter 2, demographic structure of the Indian society, and today's topic is theory of demographic transition. We have already learned about Malthusian theory of population growth. So today one more theory, that is theory of demographic transition. So let us start this theory of demographic transition. So this theory of demographic transition suggests that population growth is linked to overall levels of economic development. That means economic development and the population growth is related. That means it's linked to each other. So this theory emphasizes on this link, and that every society follows a typical patterns of development related to population growth. So in every society it happened actually related to the development and the population growth. So in this theory there are three basic phases of population growth. So various way or in a various level or various phases the population growth is there. So this theory suggests there are three basic stages of the population growth or basic phases of the population growth. So what are these basic phases of the population growth? Let us see. The first stage. In the first stage, low population growth in a society that is underdeveloped and technologically backward. So I'll just highlight the word underdeveloped and backward. Backward in the sense technologically backward. So these two words are very important here. Okay. So low population growth. So population growth is low in this first stage in a society that is underdeveloped. That means we know the society, one society we can call as underdeveloped, one is developed, and in between one more society is there developing, we can say. Okay. So basically the three stages are there of the development. So in the first stage, that is underdeveloped, that means society is not yet developed, it is underdeveloped and technologically backward. As we know, if the society become technologically sound or technologically advanced, then we cannot call it as a backward or underdeveloped. So since it is an underdeveloped society, so technologically also this society is not developed or it is not advanced, technology is not there, that is why this society still it is underdeveloped. So what is the characteristics of the first stage? That is high birth rate, high death rate. So both the factors are high here, birth is also high and the death is also high. So the difference between these two is low. If birth is 10, death is 10, that means it will come equal, isn't it? It will be 0. Or in some year we may find high birth rate, that means maybe out of 1000 population, as we have learned, 1000 populations, if the birth rate is suppose 30 and the death rate is also 30, that means both are high, or maybe 50-50 also we can say. Okay. So what will happen? 50 persons are taking birth in the society, again the same 50 people, that means the old people or maybe in the medium from anywhere, another 50 people will die. That means the population will be growth will be 0. So there will be very low population growth will be there, or sometimes little difference may be see, like maybe 30 birth and the 31 death, or maybe sometimes in some of the year we may find 31 birth and the 30 death. So like this there will be very low population growth will be there, and that is why the birth and the death rate there will be difference will be very low. So population growth will also be low in this stage, first stage. So we are going directly to the third stage. So you may ask question, no, why not second stage? So second stage we will discuss later. Let us see again what this third stage is. So third stage again it is characterized by low growth in a developed society. So now the society is developed already. Okay. third stage is characterized by the developed society. Okay, the society is developed and the growth rate is again here also low. First stage, what we have seen, it was underdeveloped, but growth rate of the population was less. But in the third stage again we can see population growth is low, but it is a developed. So what is the difference here? Developed society where both death rate and the birth rate have been reduced considerably and the difference between them is small. Again, in the first stage, what was there? High birth rate and a high death rate. Birth rate was high and the death rate was also high. But in this stage, third stage, you can see here, birth rate, death rate and the birth rate have been reduced. That means it is low, both are low. Death rate is also low and the birth rate is also low. So how it has come down? So there are some methods or the techniques are there, they have applied in the third stage. As we have seen in the first stage, the technologically backward, but in the third stage technologically advanced. Okay, so because of the technologically advanced, what happened? The low birth rate they have come down. How they have bring down the birth rate? Through educations. All the people are educated, literate. The education given them some awareness, they can think rationally and they can bring down the birth rate. So it is very easy to encourage or aware the people, those who are educated, if you compare with the illiterate or uneducated society. So low death rate, as we have already discussed now, low death rate, why? Because advanced medical facilities. So if medical facility is advanced, what will happen? So the death rate will come down. For small sickness and all, people will not die because advanced medical facility is there. There are treatment, okay, medicine is there, hospitals are there, so easily they can get or they can avail this all these facilities. That is why death rate will come down. So in this stage they have considerably, and the difference between them is small. That means they have already reduced it. So just see here, both death rate and the birth rate have been reduced considerably and the difference between them is very small. So the difference is now very small. So both low birth rate and the low death rate, that is why the difference is very small. That means again here also population growth is less. So where we will find the more populations? Where the more populations will be there? Now the second stage. Second stage, it is also called as a transitional stage. As we know, there are two types of society. We have already mentioned that three. One is underdeveloped, another one is developed society. So in the underdeveloped society also we have seen population growth is low, and again in the third stage, that is in the developed society, also we found population growth is low. But in the middle stage, that is a transitional state, neither it is a first stage nor it is a third stage. That means it is not developed or not underdeveloped, it is developing in the transitional phase. So what's happened in this transitional phase? Let's see here, as the theory name itself suggesting, theory of demographic transition. So this stage is very much important. Between the first and the third stage is a transitional stage of movement from backward to the advanced stage. So we are moving from backward, that means technologically backward. The first stage was the technologically backward. From that, where we are moving? We are moving to advanced stage, that means in the third stage where society is already developed, and this stage is characterized by a very high rate of growth of populations. And in this stage, this stage is characterized by very high rate of growth of populations. The population growth is very high. So why population growth is high here? Let us see why it is high. First stage it was low, third stage also it is low. So why in the transitional stage population growth is high? Let us see why. What happened here? High birth rate and a low death rate. So let us see first low death rate. Why low death rate? Because society can avail all the medical facilities very fast, okay, but it takes time to educate, to aware the people, to bring down the birth rate. Unless the people are educated, people are aware, it is very difficult to bring down the birth rate. That is why birth rate remain high, whereas it is very easy if you can apply all these advanced medical facilities and all. No? If you can use it in the society, people can avail these facilities and the death rate will be reduced. Same in the transitional stage, it's occur low death rate because of the medical facilities. People can avail all these medical facilities and all, medicines are there, treatment is there. That is why the death rate will come down, whereas birth rate it take time to come down. That is why there is a high growth rate of the populations. So, these are the three stages of the development, or three stages how this development take place. So, in the third stage, that means in the transitional stage, what happened? The population explosion occur. As I have already mentioned, it is a high growth of populations. So, population explosion occur. So, population explosion happens because death rates are brought down relatively quickly through advanced methods of disease control, public health and the better nutrition. So, they can reduce the death rate very fast because of the advanced medical facilities, the disease control, public health and the better nutrition also they are providing. That is why death rate has come down, but birth rate it will take time. Yes, I have already mentioned it is take time because if people are not educated, if people are not aware, it will take time to bring down the birth rate, and that is why population explosion occur in this stage. However, it takes longer for society to adjust to change and alter its reproductive behavior to suit the new situation of relative prosperity and longer lifespan. And lifespan is already increased here because of advanced medical facilities, but it is very difficult to change the reproductive behavior. Okay, unless people are aware, it will be difficult, and that is why it takes time. Okay, and that is why in the transitional stage there is a population explosion occur. In India too, the demographic transition is not yet complete. Is the mortality rate has been reduced, but birth rate has not been brought down to the same extent. So, mortality rate has been reduced through the advanced medical facilities, but birth rate has not been controlled yet. So, it's require little time, and ultimately we will reach to the third stage where we will find low birth rate and the low death rate, and the population growth will be stabilized. There will be low growth of populations. Okay, so these are the three basic stages of the demographic transitions. So let us summarize again. In the first stage, high birth rate, high death rate. That is why population growth is low. Third stage, low birth rate, low death rate. That is why again the population growth is less. In this this is characterized by the developed society, and the first stage is characterized by underdeveloped society. And the transitional stage of the second stage, it is characterized by high growth rate, high birth rate, low death rate, and because of that there is a population explosion occur in this stage. So that's all of our today's topic, the demographic transition. Okay, thank you.